On the first night of Hanukkah, Mom couldn't find the menorah. Special delivery, said Dad. Arriving with pizza, Max and Rachel looked at each other. No menorah? No latkes? It's just fine for tonight, said Mom. I'm sure we'll find our Hanukkah things tomorrow. Exhausted from unpacking, the family sat down to dinner in their new apartments. It was nice, but it didn't feel quite like Hanukkah. On the second night, the missing menorah still hadn't turned up. Should we go to the store? Asked Max. No, we'll find it soon, said Rachel. Besides, I have an idea for tonight. Rachel made a beautiful menorah. Max helped her decorate it. But when it came time to light the candles, Mom realized she packed them with the menorah. Now should we go to the store? Asked Max. Mom checked her watch and shook her head. Everything's probably closed by now. Max and Rachel convinced Mom to let them ask one neighbor. They knocked on 2C right next door and explained the situation to Mrs. Mendez. Would these work? She asked. Maybe, said Rachel. Dad lit the shamash. Max and Rachel each used it to light a candle. Then Max and Rachel both got presents. It was nice, but it didn't feel quite like Hanukkah. On the third night, Dad offered to make latkes. He just needed to find his lucky latke pan. As Dad searched through box after box, Max followed his nose downstairs to 1B, where he met Joe, the super. Welcome to the building, said Joe. Need anything? Just let me know. Anything? Asked Max, eyeing the steaming platter. Joe happily shared. It was nice, but it didn't feel quite like Hanukkah. What did they have instead of latkes?
I don't know. Potatoes?
Yeah, French fries.
French fries.
Yeah. On the fourth night, Max said, let's play dreidel. One problem, no dreidel. I'm beginning to think one of our boxes is lost, said Dad. So Mom called the moving company, and Max and Rachel set out to find a dreidel. The Watson twins, who lived upstairs in 3B, didn't have one, but they did have a toy that could spin and spin. What was it?
A hula hoop.
Yeah, it was nice, but it didn't feel quite like Hanukkah. On the fifth night, Max and Rachel figured out a way to play dreidel, which meant they needed gelt. This cat looks a little scared of the umbrella there. No chocolate coins, but I do have these, said Mr. Patel in 4A. It was nice, but it didn't feel quite like Hanukkah. That's nice. They got some chocolate chips.
Mm-hmm.
On the sixth night, Rachel wanted to have a Hanukkah sing-along, but Mom's guitar hadn't arrived yet. Gigi has one, shouted the Watson twins, running up to 5C. It turned out they were almost right. What did they have instead?
A violin.
I think it's a ukulele. Mom taught Gigi the chords to Rock of Ages, and everyone sang. It was nice, but it didn't feel quite like Hanukkah. On the seventh night, Max and Rachel discovered they were missing something else. How do you wrap a present without wrapping paper? On their way outside, they saw Dr. Lee reading in the lobby. When they asked him where to buy wrapping paper, he handed them the comics. Try using these, he suggested. So they did. It was nice, but it still didn't feel quite like Hanukkah. On the eighth night, Max realized what their Hanukkah needed. Jelly donuts. It took knocking on several doors, but finally Max got his jelly from the twins' mom in 3B. Just not in donut form. That was nice, said Rachel as they walked downstairs. Max took a big bite and finished her thought. Doesn't feel quite like Hanukkah. What'd they get instead of jelly donuts?
I don't know.
They get a jelly sandwich?
Yeah.
The next morning, there was a knock at the door. Special delivery, only this time it wasn't Dad or pizza. And it wasn't the long-lost box. Let's have a Hanukkah sing-along tonight, suggested Mom. Last night was the 8th night of Hanukkah, Rachel reminded her. It won't be Hanukkah anymore. Maybe it should be, said Max, pointing. 9 candles, 9 nights. Rachel's eyes lit up. She whispered to Max. Max whispered back, and together they developed a plan. With a box of candles and a box of crayons, they set it in motion. That evening, Max and Rachel waited and waited. Maybe this isn't going to work, said Max. It'll work, said Rachel, sounding more confident than she felt. Just then, there was a knock at the door. And another. And another. Max and Rachel thanked them all for coming. Then they explained the reason for their Shamash night celebration. For 8 nights of Hanukkah, the Shamash helped light all the other candles, said Max. like all of you helped us," added Rachel. "So we just wanted to say thanks to the shamash and to you." Just then a voice called out from the back of the line of guests, "Special delivery!" "The missing box," said Mom. "Now that's what I call a miracle," said Dad. In the box, Max and Rachel found their family menorah, Hanukkah candles, Dad's lucky latke pen, dreidels, gelt, wrapping paper, and Edith's recipe for jelly donuts. So on the 9th night in their new home, Max and Rachel and their new friends talked and laughed, ate and played games, sang and danced by the light of many candles. It was nice, really, really nice, and best of all, it felt exactly like Hanukkah. There we go.